So, you want to make money online, and out of all of the sales platforms that you can start a business on, there's absolutely no question that Etsy is one of the easiest. It's the one where you can quite literally make a full store in under an hour and then start making sales within just the first 2 weeks. And you can even make some people's yearly salary in just 1 month if you follow some very basic advice that I'm about to share with you in this video. So without further ado, here is everything that you need to know to start making some killer sales volumes on Etsy. And now, of course, the first step is going to be to actually create your own Etsy store and your own seller's account. So if that's something you want to learn how to do, then feel free to check out my full step-by-step tutorial walking you through exactly how to start your own Etsy shop. But for the purposes of this video, let's go through the very basic key principles that you need to get right to start making some killer sales on Etsy. And of course, the first one is going to be finding what to sell. And I'm gonna make this super easy for you, even if you have absolutely no idea at all. So now, there's plenty of different ways to make money on Etsy. So you've got drop shipping, digital items, print on demand, and also selling your classic physical items. But the methods I'm about to show you to find winning low competition products to sell are going to be the same for all of these business models. So firstly, if you have a passion for anything, then this is incredibly powerful to leverage. So say for example, you're really passionate about skateboarding. So if you take the dropshipping business model, for example, then you're already starting off with a massive upper hand because you know exactly what other shoppers that have the same interest in skateboarding are going to be shopping for specifically in this niche. And then of course, if you go down the route of making digital or print on demand items, you have a real advantage because you just generally know what designs look cool and also what sort of artwork and designs are really going to capture the eye of fellow skateboard enthusiasts. Then of course, the second way is to start using research tools. But I'm not going to show you the same techniques to use research tools like every other YouTuber does. I'm going to show you some very specific techniques. So let me explain. Say you're looking to start a print on demand store, right? And you're looking at selling products such as stickers. There's going to be 2 programs I recommend to carry out your research work, and this is going to be Everbee and eRank. And for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you on eRank, and literally all I'm going to do is just type in the product type that I'm trying to sell. So in this case, I'm literally just gonna type in sticker. Then what this is gonna do is it's gonna show you all of the low competition to high search volume keywords that are to do with stickers. And it's just gonna really help you find some narrow niches for some very specific sticker products that people are searching for. So for example here, I can see capybara sticker and possum sticker. Both of these terms have very high search volumes and very low competition. So you can see immediately this springs in my head an idea to sell animal stickers. And then boom, there's a niche store idea that you can certainly make a start with. And then of course, whether you want to sell t-shirts, jumpers, artwork, or literally whatever, the same principle is going to apply. Literally just type in the product into eRank or whatever research tool you're using and just scroll down until you find some specific searches for those items. And you can just use it as a way, if anything else, to just jog your mind and just start kicking your mind in action to think about some product ideas that you could actually sell. So yeah, that's just the first key area that you need to get right to be successful on Etsy. You need to find your winning product, and ideally it needs to be in a niche or product category that you can actually compete in. But anyway, the next thing that you have to get right on Etsy to make sales, it's very, very simple. All of this stuff is very simple. You just need to get clicks. So I can't put this any more simply. If nobody clicks on your product, no matter how good the product is, if no one clicks on it, you will not get any sales. It's very simple. So every product on Etsy is presented and gets clicked on for something that I like to call is shelf appeal. And shelf appeal of a product is basically made up of 3 main things. And this is just going to be the product title, the price of the product, and probably most importantly out of the 3, the thumbnail image of the product. So now I'm going to give you the absolute best advice to master each of these 3 areas. So with your product title, make sure to have the main keywords for the product within the first 40 characters of the title. And the reason that we want to do this is because on some devices, after the first 40 characters, you'll see it just goes to ... on some people's screens. So if you're putting in important keywords here that you want the shoppers to see, then they're just not gonna see it. You're so much better off just putting them at the start. And then just as important, you need to make sure that your price is competitive. So a really great tip for this one is to take basically the product title of whatever you're selling. So say for example, this is a personalized pet mug. And then you just wanna type in that exact same search term into Etsy. Look at the first 30 prices of the first 30 items that appear on your screen and add them all together. Then you just wanna divide that total price by 30. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna help you find the mean or the average price of all of the products for that search term that shows up on the first page of Etsy. And then of course, whatever you're marking your product for sale at, it should never be, in my opinion, 10% or above what the average price of your competitors' products are. All right, and then last tip is the one you have heard me say a million times before. It's definitely the most important thing for getting clicks, and this is to sort your thumbnail images out. Because in my honest opinion, your thumbnail image is literally responsible for probably 80% of your success on Etsy. I think it's that important. Because just think, if your products don't stand out and nobody's clicking on your products because your thumbnail images suck, then you are literally just wasting your time, and everything that you do after that won't matter because nobody's gonna see it anyway. So depending on exactly what you're selling, I always recommend to keep your thumbnail images as minimal as you possibly can. And then of course, if you're selling print on demand or digital products, then I always recommend to just invest a small amount of money, it doesn't cost much, and just invest in buying some high quality mock-up images from Etsy that you know convert so much better than your standard mock-up images that you get from, say, your print on demand site or basic digital design apps. And then of course, if you're selling physical or drop shipped items, I always recommend to make the product stand out as much as it can from the background, to just blur the background a little bit, or just try and use as much of a contrast in background in comparison to the color of the product you're trying to sell as you possibly can. So this is just gonna really make the product pop out from the picture and really stand out on the busy Etsy homepages. And look, if you're still struggling with Etsy and you're struggling to get clicks, and if you've watched any of my other videos, then you'll know that something I love to do is carry out one-on-one personalized Etsy shop reviews, just fully deep diving into your Etsy shop, looking at everything from top to bottom. So if you think that's something that could help you out and you want to lean on me, then that's absolutely fine. Just fire me a message on Instagram or through email, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at your shop and work directly with you. But anyway, once you've found your winning product and you've actually got people to click on your product and go through to your Etsy shop, of course, then you need to build trust with the customer before they will ever buy anything or before they'll ever press that magic buy button on your shop. So again, you could have the best product in the world with incredible product photography, but if people are clicking through to your shop and your shop, to be honest, just looks unprofessional, it's not populated completely, and you've also got no reviews at all, then this is going to be a real killer for customer trust in your shop, and more often than not actually going to convert. So this is just the reality of selling products online. So then of course the question is, how do we get customers to trust our Etsy shops? Well, the number one thing is always going to boil down to social proof and reviews. And I mean, me and you, we're literally the best case studies of this. What is the first thing that we always do when we're looking to buy a product online from a shop that we've never heard of? We look at the reviews, right? Especially if you're just starting out, it is absolutely essential to get some reviews rolling in as soon as you possibly can. And now, I've said this tip before in my other videos, but I think a great thing to do when you're just starting out is to just get family and friends to purchase some items from your store. And I mean, even if you're sending them the money and it's not coming out of their own pocket, absolutely fine. They can still make a legitimate purchase from your shop, and this still allows them to leave a legitimate review that's going to help towards your public review score. Because honestly, the difference between a store that has no reviews and a store that has even, say, 20 reviews is literally massive. And then of course, once you do have some reviews, you really need to make sure that your store actually looks professional. So when I say this, I'm talking about having a proper banner made up, a proper logo, so an announcement if you need an announcement, and also a fully completed About Us section. Because all of these things count towards the ultimate goal of building trust with shoppers that land on your store. Because always just remember, if a customer does not trust your shop, they will not buy from your shop. So then of course, you found a winning product, people are clicking on it, they trust your store, so they're starting to buy your product. Of course, what's left to do then is to start looking at your analytics and start really scaling your business. And now I'm gonna let you in on a little secret about me here. I sucked at school, okay? Anything to do with like analytics or looking into charts and graphs was just way above my head. I could not focus on it at all. But the reason for that, and it's something I know now, is because that stuff just wasn't important to me at all. But on the flip side, the statistics and analytics that you get presented with on Etsy for your own store is incredibly important to us. So over the last 2 years of having my Etsy shop, I made it my absolute mission to be able to interpret and read exactly what these statistics are telling me, to know what my shop's doing well, and then also what I can do to really improve. So I want to show you some really important metrics that you need to be looking at now on your Etsy store. So in your dashboard, you're going to have the stats section. And then I want you to be frequently going on this and opening it up to all time, and then paying attention to where your Etsy traffic is actually coming from. And now there's going to be two main areas in this statistics that I want you to look at. So the first one is going to be the Etsy app and other Etsy pages traffic. So this is going to be the traffic that you actually get from Etsy promoting your items. And this is going to be on areas like the You May Also Like section, the homepage, the favorites, and also the editor's picks sections. So the end goal, you want most of your traffic to be coming from this area. So this means that you've got a high CTR or a high click-through rate on your listings, and your listings are of a high enough quality that Etsy wants to promote them. And then of course the added bonus is that if you're getting a lot of your traffic through this area, you don't need to be as switched on, or you really don't need your SEO to be as bang on in order to get a lot of traffic to your Etsy shop. So this is kind of summarizes perfectly in a visual exactly what I was saying in the second point I made in this video, why it's so important to make your items clickable, because this really is the area that most of your Etsy sales are gonna come from. And then of course the other area, like I've just alluded to, that I want you to take a look at is gonna be Etsy search. And this is where your Etsy SEO is going to come in. And now you may have noticed that up until this point in the video, I haven't mentioned SEO as one of the key areas that you need to get right at all. And that's just because, as you can see here, there really is a much smaller percentage of your sales that's going to come from SEO compared to Etsy actually promoting your item. And just for me and my personal stats, it is literally half of the traffic, okay, which is massive. But nevertheless, it is important to get your Etsy SEO right. So if that's something that you need to focus on, then I do recommend to just check out some of the other videos that I've got about Etsy SEO on my channel. But yeah, just when starting out, these are the only two areas that I think you really need to focus on. Don't worry about clogging your brain up with anything else. Just focus on getting your traffic from SEO and making your items clickable so that Etsy actually promote your items. All right, honestly, don't overcomplicate it, guys. Etsy is very simple. And then just the last area that I want you to pay attention to is your most popular items, okay? So what items are getting the most clicks and what items are getting the most sales. So literally, whatever it is, I want you to make copies of all of your best-selling items, and I just want you to change around the thumbnail image, play around with the title. So it's essentially just a brand new listing, another listing for an item that you know already sells well. And also, I want you to really focus on scaling your store and expanding your store in the areas of whatever items are currently doing well for you. So just going back to our stickers, for example, if you find that of all the stickers you're selling, you have cat and dog stickers that are doing incredibly well, then this might be a massive hint that indoor house pets designs on stickers are what really makes sales. So I would just double down on this area from my Etsy store and just start uploading loads of sticker designs for common indoor pets. I promise you, Etsy is so simple. Do the simple things right and you just will make sales. And of course, remember, if you wanted to take a look at all of the business models, so drop shipping, print on demand, digital items, physical items, then I've done a whole breakdown on this and I recommend you to check out this video. I'll go through it all in absolute detail and you'll find out what's best for you. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you on the next video.